Hello everyone, I'm doing a video to explain Hello World 1. If this method will be easier for you to learn, I'll do it for the other mechanics. For now it's only for Hello World 1. Tell me if you need something afterwards. So, let's begin. This is... Wait. Okay, so this is the initial positions, kind of. We're gonna stand a bit differently. I'll explain it while we raid. But this is the debuffs that we're gonna get. We're gonna have uh, three people, one tank, one healer, and one DPS with latent defect. We're gonna have one tank with AoE defamation, and we're gonna have two players with shared debuff. Let's talk about them first. The defamation one will explode and do a huge AoE, a huge purple AoE. The shared one must be shared with someone because the initial damage is very hard. So you're gonna need to share this debuff with at least one person. And latent defect means that you got to get hit by something. Doesn't matter which amount. Like it can be 1 HP, but you got to get hit by something. So after we see who gets what, we're going to the first positions. The tank with the AoE, with defamation, will going to the north, which will be A mark. We're gonna have A mark here. So he's standing here, and the defamation will hit something around this. So it will hit like half the map, and those two want to get hit by it. So they get hit by defamation and will get rid of the latent defect, because latent defect, as I said before, you want to get hit by something. Those two have nothing, so for now let's not talk about them. And this is where it all happened. Uh, the share debuff need to be shared. Now, one of the DPS will have 8 second and one of the DPS will have 12 second debuff. The 8 second will stand here. We're gonna have 1 mark here. So he will always stand on 1. 8 second is less than 12, so he's the first one, he's 1. 12 second is the second one that's gonna get off. So this is why he stands on 2. We're gonna have the 2 mark here. The tank with the latent defect, which means he need to get hit by something, will share it with the shorter one, with the 8 second debuff. So let's see how it goes off. The defamation will go off and will hit those two who had latent defect. So now they got rid of the latent defect because they got hit by something. But a thing that you need to know about Final Omega in Hello World, if you get hit by something, you're getting infected by it. So because they got hit by the defamation, they got infected by it, and now they have defamations. Those two still have nothing, and here we're gonna see the share marker explode, like the 8 second mark explode. And this is why the tank with the latent defect got hit by something, so it got off, and now he get the share mark as well. Now, as soon as this happens, this healer who had nothing want to rescue the tank from the top. So let me just rewind it a bit. Okay, you see, the exact same moment the defamation goes off, the healer will pull the tank, so he will help him to get to the south faster. You'll just see it. During this time, those two got the AoE going to their spot respectively. I'll explain it soon. And this one, the DPS, who had 8 seconds, need to go to the right to share it with this one, with this DPS who had the 12 second. Now, because he had 12 and this one has 8, you understand that now we have only 4 seconds, because 12 minus 8 is 4. So this DPS has 4 seconds to get from 1 to 2 and share it with this DPS. Problem is, he just got hit hard by his own shared debuff. This is why the healers need to heal this guy as soon as possible. They have 4 second window to heal him. Now you can see everyone going to their spots, and I'll explain which is the spot and why. So The tank who got rescued going to the exact south. We're gonna have C marker here. So he's going to the true south. Not on the C marker, to the very south of the platform. Those two are gonna get shared now on the 12-second debuff, and this is the tank who got the shared from the 8-second debuff before. Those two who got the deformations want to stand in the intercardinals of their initial positions. We're gonna have A here, B on the east, and D delta on the west. Say so the DPS always will want to stay in the intercardinal between delta and alpha, and the healer will be standing in the intercardinal between alpha and bravo. Those two had nothing want to get hit by the deformation, and the reason for this is I'll explain it soon. But they want to get hit only by one of them. This is why they're standing respectively to the role that they're playing, and I'll just show it. Okay, so those AoEs goes off, and these guys get infected. Now, because they want to get hit by only one of them, they're standing here. If this DPS was standing here, he was clipped by both deformations, and he will die because of the damage. So they need to stand in a place that they will get hit only by one of the deformations, respectively, the DPS from the DPS and the healer from the healer. Now here, the 12-second shared mark will explode. The tank shouldn't stay in it. This is a bad gif. You need to be on the true south. Actually, the shared mark is too big in the gif, so it will be a little smaller. Don't worry. And the tank with the share marker can survive it solo with a small CD. So the tank who got the share marker need to use like the smallest CD that you can spare to survive it. Let's see it. Okay, so those two got switched, as you see. I'll show it again. Those two got infected, they switched to the exact same position that the other guys were before. These two are starting to get to the south to group up, and the tank with the share marker will get explode while they are running to him. No one need to share it with him, he will take it alone with a small cooldown, as I said. This is where all the debuffs gonna get off, but the boss is using one last mechanic, which called critical error. Critical error is giving everyone who didn't get the defamation up until now a defamation stack. So it's gonna be the two DPSs that had the share mark and the one tank who got the latent defect from the beginning. So all the guys who dances here on the south at the beginning, which is the tank with the latent defect and two DPS with the shared mark, are gonna get defamations now. And they need to get away from the party. And it's really easy to know where which one need to go, and I'll explain. So, this guy is the one person who had the 8-second. He stood on 1. 1 is to the left and 2 is to the right. So if I'm the DPS who got the 8-second debuff and stood on 1, I'm gonna go to the left, to the west, to Delta. If I'm the DPS who got the shared with 12 seconds and I stood on 2, I'm going to the east because it's the closer to 2. To the 2 mark, I mean. And the tank will always go to the north, to A, to Alpha. Might need to sprint if he doesn't go fast enough. They're gonna blow up. The group staying on C or to the south, it doesn't matter, DPS the boss. And this is when Hello World is almost over. Everyone is going back to the south as soon as they can, because we're gonna have Ion Efflux. Oh, one moment. Yeah, because we're gonna have Ion Efflux, which is the huge, which is a very hard-hitting raid AoE. It's like Cosmo memories from the twins, from male and female. So we're gonna have a sacred soil for this, reprisal, soccer of course, and full HP. And this is Hello World 1. Let me know if you didn't understand something. Let me know if I need to do this video again, maybe a little bit longer and explain it slower. And if it helped you, tell me, so I will do it for the other mechanics. Thank you, good luck.